as you were describing your journey, when you said, and then I added the coaching and something changed. And I know that you described the quality of it. Can you describe more about that eye-opening moment when you made the realization that adding the coaching was the thing at this point for you?
It just felt so aligned. I could feel it in my body. As I was learning things, on some level, it was like I'm learning new things. On another level, it's like I've always known this. This is things I actually already know. As far as the coaching itself, the business stuff is another story. That was quite whole nother whole nother story of learning how to actually run a business and promote myself. I mean, I'd been doing that, but this was different. New skill sets. So sometimes there are new skill sets that need to come in, but that knowing, that feeling, it's just so aligned. It's my purpose. And a lot of what I help women with is getting into soul alignment.
You help them do the thing that you have experienced at many different levels over many
Yeah.
years, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
What I just want to dig a little bit deeper here, and here's why, is that lots of times our heads get in the way, right?
Yeah.
And so there's people that are listening to this episode and they're going to be saying, well, Jenny felt aligned. How do I know when I feel aligned? So do you have any thoughts for them about how to know and trust yourself that that is the aligned feeling?
It's part of a process at first. So I really think the mindfulness part comes first, where you're living in greater mindfulness of present moment, tapping into your body. So it's the mindfulness and then the embodiment where you actually bring your consciousness down into your body, your throat, into your heart, into your gut, and feel that knowing so that you get more resonant with actually living like that. And then that helps you to trust yourself more and to really rely on your intuition. Because often we get these hits and we think, oh, yes. And then your head immediately is like, oh, you can't do that. So when I work with women, actually, we work on the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Because often the conscious mind will be, this is so great. This is what I want to do. And the unconscious mind's going, no, 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 you can't achieve that, whatever reason. And it's really working through that on the unconscious level to align those two and then dropping into the body and then learning to actually trust your intuition. So the soul alignment it's like that, then that, then that, just stepping forward. And then, you get that knowing feeling inside. I think just with modern life and how fast everything is and how so often we're trapped in our head bubble, just thoughts spinning, that we kind of can lose touch with our bodies and with our intuition. So it's practicing bringing your awareness back into that. And then when you feel that this thing actually brings me joy, like I can feel that this feels right. And all of us can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. It starts with that space
Yeah.
and giving yourself time to almost experiment, like what is that feeling? What is that feeling in my body? What is going on there? And we don't have to rush it. It sounds like your journey to this place has taken the years of your life. Your journey is as many years as you've been alive. And each of those, days or weeks or years has been another layer that adds to closer to aligned, or a reminder about what it's like when you're not aligned.
Absolutely. I mean, even the science background, the editing work, all of that, it has made me who I am. And it's actually enabled me, because they're quite detail oriented and structured, it's kind of enabled me to be able to hold structured space for women to make transformations. So even if things seem to be, we did this over here, and then each one of our experiences make us who we are. It makes us unique and brings together all of our gifts and who we are. So I think for women out there, they mustn't discount anything that they've done. It all leads to the whole of making them who they are. And it's all skill sets.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. What is the one message? So this is the place that I really want you to sort of narrow down. What's the one message that you would share with your past self?
That you can do it. Stop doubting yourself. Stop wasting so much time. You're a spiritual being having an experience in a physical body. and a powerful creator. Step into that. Do it. You've got this.
You've got this. That
You've got
especially loud. Yeah. That one's especially loud too.
yeah.
Yeah. I see how there's these qualities of trust and permission, giving yourself permission to be the person that you know that you are meant to be, want to be, are called to be, and that you're already her.
Exactly. You're already her. Good. I'm finding it really nice that you are using the word permission so much, because it's actually kind of the first part of my process is permission. It's giving yourself permission, and then path, and then purpose. Yeah, there are no coincidences.
Exactly. You know, Jenny, there's this thing that really sticks with me as you're describing your program. It's deep work, no doubt, but it's not difficult. It's not complex. That's the piece that I think is really interesting, is I can see that there is a simplicity to the depths, like there's a naturalness to the depths, might be how I would describe it as well. And that helps I'm assuming the people that you work with, it helps them to put their doubts to the side. They can come into this place and they know that it will be, not that it's always easy, but that it can be simple. It doesn't have to be super complicated, right?
Exactly. You've summed it up beautifully. It is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And it's taking those simple steps. And we don't need the end picture. You just take the next step and you work through. And we tend to overcomplicate things as humans and pile all these complications on. And then it feels so hard. We don't even want to start. But if you peel that away and you look at the essence of who you are, and you have a very clear idea of who you want to be, where you want to go, and who you have to be that, you're already that. Just step into that future self, be that woman, and you take the steps, simple steps, bit by bit. And we can all do this. It's a beautiful thing.
There's a question here, and the question is, it's for the listener who says, well, that's fine. You told me to just take the first simple step, and yet they want something concrete. So what is that concrete thing that you could share with a listener who is sitting with their noise canceling headphones on and they're on the treadmill and they're like, I want that, but I don't know what the first step is. So what would you share with them?
Actually, before that, even a lot of people don't really know what they want, what that vision is. The first step is actually getting really, really clear on that, on what is your vision, what is your why. And for a lot of women, we've had so many barriers and things like just from society and general life that you first actually need to release some stuff to even make that why clearer, because sometimes that why is too small. It's not actually the why. So we often envision a much smaller thing than we're truly capable of. So it's first clearing out blocks to really, really hone in on what is your why. And make that why your real why, even if it's huge, step into that. And then as a first concrete step towards that would be just living in the present moment and tapping in. We tend to give up our own power and we want answers from searching here, searching there, when the answers are within. So often we need help with first clearing the blocks and creating the big why. But if you can tap into some vision for yourself that you really want and then go within and just have those quiet moments.
So there is something here about allow yourself to want what you want and to even admit it to yourself to begin with, right? So often the things that we think we want are because we're trying to avoid something else, or we think that outer thing is going to satisfy the inner hole or the inner dissatisfaction. And so, what you've described beautifully is take it slow. Ask yourself, what do you want? And allow yourself to want and have a desire, a real desire. It's just your desire, and it kind of goes back to the permission thing. Allow yourself,
exactly.
Right?
That is
allow yourself. Yeah, that's the thing. As one has ever asked you.
Here's why. Why do you want that? Because we think we know, but when you really drill down into that, why you want something, all sorts of layers come up, and that you feel that resonance in your body if it's really your why. So it sounds so simple, but It's such a powerful question.
The most powerful questions are often the simplest, right?
Yeah.
Because then our head, we can't have our head all mucking in there. We have to get honest with ourselves, right? I love that. So has anybody ever asked you that question and it transformed your life in an instant?
I think that's what I asked myself when I stepped into the coaching, to take it full circle, is it was my why. It was a visceral thing in my body of this is the thing. So that transformed my life, but it was me asking myself that question.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Can you share with people how they can find out more about you?
Sure. The easiest is my website. Everything is on there. And there's a free quiz they can get on there as well, which is right at the top, easy to see. It's my name, so I'll have to spell it because my surname is a little tricky, but it's jennytreurnich.com.
That's great. And I'll make sure to put the links in the episode notes. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jenny. I loved our conversation.